I wondered if there's any sort of crazy stories that you could share with couples quarantine about some mad dating, especially with someone with a profile.
I mean, I think one of the worst dates I ever went on was the first date I had back after I'd broken up with my last long-term girlfriend, Gemma, and I went for my first date back in the game. So I was always a bit nervous. I was like, I've forgotten how to do this, and I just was not match fit, and I took a date to this quite fancy restaurant. Went in there. I was in the middle of the room, very lit, and I was on the table in the middle, which I don't like. I like being in the corner, away from everyone. I don't like being the center of attention. I like a restaurant to be dark, little booths. I had not checked it out, and I was in the middle. It was like doing a show in the round, everyone looking at me. I was very conscious. It was clearly a date as well, which made that even more awkward. Everyone was like, oh, look, there's Jack Whitehall on a date. So I'm there having the dinner, and I ordered a bottle of red wine. I got completely upsold on this bottle of red wine. I don't know that much about wine. The guy said, I said, I like, this is the type of wine that I like. Can you recommend something? He recommended the £500 bottle.
And also, did he do it in front of the woman so she can see that what the price was? So if you went, well, actually, no, I'll go, she knows you're a cheapskate.
Yeah,
exactly. We don't think like that,
fucking
guys.
baby, you do. You see,
honestly, I going through my head.
Yeah,
I was like,
going through my head.
I'll have whatever tastes like the house red, because I've had this thing called house red before, and it tastes really nice. So something similar to a house red. And he went, £500 bottle would be great. It's like, okay, yep, we'll have that. Drank it. Horrible, thin, sedimenty, not my bag at all. But I was like, well, I'll pay for the £500 wine. I'm going to drink the £500 wine. I then ordered the starter, which was a sizzling hot plate with tataki on it, because that sounded kind of like a little bit of theatre, quite nice. That arrived, obviously very loud. Everyone's now looking at me because hot plate going down on the table. I was like, I've not thought this through. The waiter puts down the sizzling hot plate of tataki. He goes to get the beef. He turns around and smashes the bottle of wine, the £500 bottle of wine, onto the sizzling hot plate. It smashes and then sizzles up into my face, boiling hot wine, like in my eyes. I scream because it's hot and it's red wine. So I go, ah! Like that, as it's spraying on me. White shirt, completely covered in red wine. Everyone in the restaurant is now looking at me like awful, horrific. He's trying to like pat me down. I'm like, no, it's fine. He's like, can I get you another bottle of wine? I was like, I didn't like the wine anyway. It's absolutely fine. I don't want to make a scene, even though I have very much made a scene now. She's looking like horrified. She goes off to the toilet. Like, I get the bill. We're leaving. I realize on the bill, he hasn't taken off everything's on it. Like everything's on it. Hadn't taken off like the wine, hadn't taken off the service. I was like, I don't like complaining, but on this occasion, I think I'm going to have to complain. Obviously, I'm not going to do it in front of her because that would be awful and awkward and horrific, and I don't want her to see me complaining. But she's gone to the loo, so while she's in the loo, I'll have a quick cheeky look about it. I just, in the future, and this is just me giving a little bit of feedback, if you assault someone with alcohol, wine in their face, I think I would probably take that off the bill or maybe drop the service. And she was like, oh God, I'm so sorry, that should have happened. Please let me take it off your card. I was like, no, I wasn't saying that I don't want to pay. I'm happy to pay for the whole thing. She's like, give me your card. Literally having like a tug of war with the card. Like this red-faced lunatic trying to drag, and I just ran out the restaurant. I was like, come on, we're going, we're leaving. Ran out the restaurant, never saw her again.
Do you think being super posh is a handicap in those situations where you can't, like English people get very perturbed, but you can't say anything like, no, I'm really happy about this, but because it is sort of a handicap where you can't ever say anything. You can't go, listen, actually, because I'm a real pussy like that, where they're sort of served like there's a dead cockroach, a piece of glass.
I will always say something. Yeah. Also, can I just say, guys, for anyone who's listening to this, I know we have a lot of male listeners. We do not give a shit if you're like, actually, that's a bit expensive. I'm looking for something around the region of 50 quid, which, by the way, is expensive enough. And also, like, I'm always like, this wasn't cooked right, send it back. Yeah. Either that or I'm not paying for it. Like, it's one or the other.
My thing's still clucking.